Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good Wednesday, everybody, and welcome into the End of the Bench. Here we're in the First United Bank studio on a beautiful Wednesday morning. I want to let you know that the Visual Edge IT hotline is 806-771-0973. We'll give away tickets through there at times, have our guests appear through that Visual Edge IT hotline. The Yates Flooring Center chat line is how you communicate with us through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Presented by Happy State Bank, a Hax, Collier, and Lucas edition of this program. Did you miss me yesterday?
I did, but I just so I could make up for the lost time on the radio show, I stood at Danlaw Field for 3 hours. Just about 4 booths away from you.
I never saw you.
Well, I was behind home plate. You can't see at that angle, but yeah. I was down on the field pregame, getting starting lineup.
I absolutely have disdain for our angle. It is a horrible angle to broadcast baseball from. It doesn't mean a thing. It probably will never change. I stand by this. When we hit the money well or the lottery or whatever, new stadium, where the old Coliseum used to be, you can still use the clubhouse, the one that you just built. You can attach it to the right field wall, because these line drives that are hooking into the building are a lot.
Yeah.
Windows are shattering like crazy.
Did that one end up hitting a window yesterday?
It sure looked like it was headed
going
that way.
Direction, yeah.
But I don't think it did. I think it hit the bricks. Okay. I'm telling you, that's the route that I've got to take to go get my interviews with the players, and I do not feel safe. Not when your back's turned, and then so you get the hooking line drives from the right-handed batters, and you get the slicers from the left-handed batters, which I'd rather take a slicer to the head than the other pull, rope. But yeah, that's what needs to happen. Brand new stadium. You can dig it down on the ground a little bit, have it sunken, and still get every bit of use out of the what would be a right field facility instead of a foul ground facility that you just built.
No, I 100%.
And then Rip Griffin turns into a parking lot.
And I have no problem with that either, considering the parking issues at times. Yesterday was tough to get a good parking spot there with school and everything.
Class in session. Yeah.
I was parked on basically the northwest corner of Jones Stadium. That's where not that that's that much of a walk, but I was kind of carrying some stuff too.
The problem is, what I'm talking about, it would never happen anyway, but now as we steamroll into giving the money to the players, it's really not that big a deal. I was like, hey, how's the place? Oh, we got a nice lounge. Cool. Is there some Gatorade in there? Yeah, all right. Well, now how much are you going to pay me? That kind of deal. Yeah. I don't know. Baseball might make a difference. Baseball probably a lot different than basketball, where we're going to show you around the Womble. It's really cool.
Yeah.
They got pods where you can be like Mork from Mork and lay down, and it's a relaxation pod. How much are you going to pay me?
I think it probably is a little different. I mean, I'm sure there's facilities out there that have different things for pitchers and everything like that might attract somebody.
I heard through the grapevine that there was a player from Texas that was getting $100,000 baseball. Don't know who that player was, but I heard it through the grapevine.
I like those numbers a lot more than I do some of the basketball numbers that are out there. Did you play a lot more games?
Yeah.
With baseball,
a
little more taxing.
Got some mustard on my pants this morning.
Mustard on your pants this morning?
call me mustard pants.
Yeah.
That's a good look, especially when you got to go to Orlando later.
Yeah.
Texas Tech takes off for Orlando today. I'm going to have 3 games Thursday, Friday, Saturday with the Knights. Bob Huggins.
Yeah.
Wants the Louisville job.
Oh, of course he does.
He said this morning on 790 KRD, which is always a dangerous proposition to have Huggy Bear on the radio. I'm really excited. I would be really excited to be there. I would want to be and do what Coach Denny Crum did. I've always had a love for Louisville, believe it or not. Yeah, I bet you do.
I always had a love for head coaching somewhere that will actually hire me.
Yes. I love going to Louisville and playing. I love the fan base, the way they embrace the team, the way they embrace Louisville basketball. So, still trying out there, Huggy Bear.
Hey, maybe if he gets drunk again, he'll end up back in West Virginia. Who knows?
I figured it was like a hush-hush year-long suspension, but clearly that's not the case since they've hired a new head coach. I figured they would just welcome him back.
I'm proud of Wren.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you.
And maybe if it was previous, maybe they would have.
Well, they're just so... these are just the ones we know about.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're to that level with the booze, other stuff has gone down. I mean, he would close the bar here in Lubbock over by the Overton.
Really?
He and Chris Beard,
Yeah.
every time they had a game, they were over there throwing them down.
Gotta relax a little after that cross-country flight. Do you see the other name? And I didn't come across this until yesterday when talking to Justin Apodaca, local reporter.
Papa Doc.
Another head coaching job that might be filled, not quite at the level of Louisville, but UT Rio Grande Valley. You see who they have listed as their head coach on their website? You see it?
Is it listed?
Apparently, when you go to their website, there's a name, and it says his name, and underneath it says head coach.
Mark Adams?
Yeah. There's been no formal announcement and nothing.
Why would you do that? Why would you just go to the website and say, before we officially announce anything, we're going to just...
It's like a soft opening.
I guess so.
I mean, it's again, I don't know that it's official, but...
Bing is really struggling today.
Yeah. So
the race to UTRGV's
we're
website.
racing. Lucas, where are you at on this? It still has another
It still has a
Matt
current.
Fig, but Apodaca had like a screenshot of his name. So
Lon
something to keep an eye
Kruger
on.
was also was on there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think Lon's getting back into coaching at this point. Unless he just wants to set a record for another team making it to the Sweet 16. I miss Lon.
So do I.
Something to keep an eye on. I think he's still currently listed as an assistant at East Carolina, where he spent this past season, but it would be a second stint if he did end up going back to UTRGV back when they were UT Pan Am.
All right, we've got headlines coming up next. Stay tuned for that. Much more here on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Time for the headlines here on 100.7 The Score, 100.7thescore.com. Got a little NIT hoops on tonight, if that is something you're looking for. You have UNLV and Seton Hall, Utah and Virginia Commonwealth. So have a couple there. Kentucky athletic director confirms that Calipari with a C is going to return as the head coach there. Texas Tech baseball run rules SFA yesterday. 16-4. A walk-off run rule home run by Owen Washburn. Gavin Cash also hit one deep. High school fan zone is at 6 o'clock tonight on 100.7 The Score. And then tomorrow we got some afternoon baseball, 2:40, Astros, Yankees. And then myself and Jamie Lynn will be on Double T 97.3 for Texas Tech and UCF live from Orlando. Some coaching searches going on. Some have been filled. Yesterday was a big day for coaches, and the day before as well, to grab jobs as the coaching carousel continues to spin. And that's about it when it comes to the headlines. Are you following the Ohtani stuff?
Not closely. I mean, other than, his statement, a bold proclamation, if you will, with no one asking him questions. I don't know that I necessarily believe him, but it appears that this will probably be all water under the bridge, stealing some cat noise type things here. I'm sure it will quietly go away. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll go away. Even though it is funny, all these videos, I don't remember. You remember the video of him?
Sounds like 4 million went away.
Yeah, 4.5. Videos of him and his interpreter bouncing baseballs in the dugout, and somebody basically saying, this video makes so much more sense now, because they were really excited about that. You're like, probably just gambling right there in the dugout.
Yeah.
I mean,
who's going to know what they're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and one of the things was, tell me you love gambling without telling me you love gambling with that video. Which, yeah. You think, do you believe?
I don't know what to believe.
We discussed it some yesterday. It just seems a little far-fetched that the guy wouldn't know.
He's shocked the interpreter stole funds. But, man, when you're the cash cow, fall guys can be at the ready. And as close as this interpreter is, he's the first guy that you would go to. Say, oh, he's the one with the problem.
Yeah.
They're all over P. Diddy now, too. Have you seen this?
I have seen that. That's concerning. I don't know enough about that to talk about it, but yeah, a lot of strange stuff. Will he have a fall guy as well?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a weird world.
It gets weirder by the minute.
Glad we talk about sports. That's why the news.
Talking the sports
was a little much.
You know that bold prediction that used to be imaging from the sports animal. I don't know if you remember that with Mike Steely.
I remember Mike.
He said, "It's time for another sports animal bold prediction." Remember that?
Nope, I don't. I should. I mean, I listen to him all the time.
As far as the sports talk goes, he's my hero. The Steel Man.
Now he does it independent of a radio station.
His own kind of creation. Yeah. I never really met him, but when I was delivering... This is so stupid. When you take jobs right out of college, they sneak little... Oh, this is what the news director does. So what they did to me was that I had to go on the mail run in the station van. So I would finish up my newscasts at 8:30, get in the station green van, drive it down to the post office, grab the mail, come back. That's news director duties, okay? But that's what I would listen to every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Nope. I listened to him. He was on early, so I would listen to him.
Morning Animals.
Yeah.
6 to 9.
because I worked overnight. So whenever I was done,
they were coming on?
Yeah. I would actually work till lunch, so I would listen to them, and then whenever I left, I guess I would catch the tail end of the Morning Animals.
Okay, from the Ace Flooring Center chat line, the Big Bad Baseball team can run rule podunk teams. Great. When will they be competitive with good teams? I think they've been competitive. Haven't won nearly as many as would like to have. The Texas, that one was not good. But other than that, I mean, have you been run off the field that much?
Well, my question would be, what did you expect your conference record to be after, 3 series now?
9 games.
Yeah, 3 series. So 9 games. What did you expect the record to be after 9 games?
7-0.
Well, okay. Well, if you're thinking that, then you're a little bit too high on your horse there. Yeah. 6-3, 7-2, right? I mean, win each series.
6-3, 5-4.
Yeah. 6-3 is, okay, so you won every series. You couldn't get a sweep, which is hard to do. You're 2 games worse than your 5-4 that you said, right? Yeah. It's still early.
I just think there's so much to figure out, and there's so many players that are close to each other in ability that it's going to come down to when will somebody do like what Drew Woodcox is doing and say, hey, I'm your everyday left fielder.
Yeah. And Damian Bravo, too.
And Damian Bravo's done the exact same thing.
I mean, Damian Bravo, I don't think he got a – yeah, I think Jamie said that they originally changed it to a hit on that one play, but I think they switched it back to an error on the official score. So he didn't get a hit, but I think he was on basically every single time yesterday. I mean, being productive without getting a hit, getting on base as much as he can. So he's earned a spot. I mean, we saw Gage Harrelson in a pinch running situation yesterday. And that guy was your starting center fielder and leading off, I mean, there's plenty of competition everywhere. You got 3 catchers that could all play. Maxie got the pinch hit yesterday. You have plenty of options. It's just, I think more than anything, I talked about it some yesterday, it's the bullpen, and at least one of the bright spots in a 16-4 game to me was Trendon Parrish, even though he was playing against lesser competition, able to go 3+ innings, right? And kind of steady things that didn't look necessarily great early on. Not that you were in trouble by any means, but when you give up 4 hits in the first inning, you're like, uh-oh, what are we doing here? But he came in and did exactly what Tim Tadlock needed him to do in the
slider
mid-range.
was nasty.
Yeah. So if you can get that Trendon Parrish to go along with Jacob Rogers and Josh Sanders, who Tim said on your radio show on Monday that he was good. He reiterated that yesterday in postgame that he could have thrown today, but we didn't need him today. We need him for the weekend. So.
Yeah, I saw him walking around. It didn't look like he'd even been contacted by anything.
One other cool thing that came out of the postgame yesterday, Brady Trumbello was with the team yesterday. Of course, a few weeks removed from getting hit by a line drive, but was back with the ball team yesterday in the clubhouse and everything. So good news on his road to recovery there.
Absolutely. That is exciting. Very relieved to hear about that.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's a Wednesday edition of the End of the Bench here on 100.7 The Score, 100.7thescore.com. Did you reseed yesterday?
We did not, so we can do it today.
Okay. All right.
Nope. I figured with you coming back today, that was something for us to do before they get back going.
Okay. Good. There's a Twitter war going on between TTU Hoops fans and Waffles.
Yes, I don't know who Waffles is.
What a great name. I know that.
I know who TTU Hoops fan,
Yeah.
but I don't know
Bill
who. Yeah.
Who was Tech Hoops fan when Tech Hoops was terrible. He's
Yes.
been there for a long time. If you think the transfer portal is going anywhere, you would be incorrect.
Unfortunate.
If you're looking for smoking gun evidence of the rewards of the often lampooned transfer portal, tune in to Sweet 16 games, any of them. 46% of starters on Sweet 16 teams are transfers.
Yeah. Oh, it's not changing.
That's from On3 NIL.
46%. So Kyron Lindsey could be on a
No,
Sweet 16 team next year.
I would say that's a stretch.
Yeah.
37 of the 80 starters on the Sweet 16 teams are transfers. All NC State starters are transfers. Alabama, Arizona, NC State, San Diego State.
Well, to be fair, I mean, not to be hypocritical here in any way, shape, or
No,
form.
no,
I don't
we're
like
one of the worst.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Name a player that started here and finished here that has been part of this run. And I'm skipping
Well, you
over
got to go
last
back
year.
to the Elite 8 team.
Yeah, it was Keenan Evans and
Norrance, Justin Gray,
Justin Gray, yeah.
Zach Smith.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
But, I mean, that's it. Right? It's just that group. After that, I like to consider 4 full years as a...
If you spend 3 years at a place and,
Yeah, I
and
know.
didn't go anywhere else, he's yours.
Yeah, that's true. No, he did start here. Good call. Okay, 5 out of how many years? A whole 5 players out of...
Okay, so go give me some percentages on leaving. Robert Jennings.
30. I don't think he's leaving. You think he's leaving? I don't think he's leaving.
I think he'll leave.
Yeah.
Listen,
Well, you know what? Now that you say that, I mean, he was in the portal last year whenever the hire happened.
he was in the portal last year, and I think that he would think there's a place that will offer me more time on the court.
And, yeah, that's true. And they're going to bring in people that are going to immediately be in front of him. So he's going to have to...
In theory.
In theory, yes. In theory, their goal is to find people to play in front of him. Right?
So you get Imbalad,
Yeah.
you get Chiwad, you get Vladid.
Okay, so I'll go 50 then. I'll go 50. I like or 40. I'll go 40 or 49. So I give him a percentage.
I hope he stays, but I'm like and I have zero information on how he feels.
It's just us.
And that's what was nice about this year. Last year, in public, you had a lot, and I'm talking about the Adams last year. You had a lot of just blah, blah, blah. It's just everything was lies. Just you would, hey, how's the chemistry? We love each other. You know, they hated each other. I mean, it was just lie after lie after lie. This year, this bunch genuinely liked each other.
Yeah.
And played like it.
Yeah.
Egos were set aside. And that's what I love about McCaslin in today's era, where you are shelling out big bucks and basically you're coaching pros. He still coached the hell out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, got after people when that was needed.
Oh yeah. Even in when they were leading, had a significant lead on people. If something wasn't done, he still would be frustrated on not doing something on defense. Again, my lasting memory of Chiron is going to be him getting yanked the last time against Texas, right? Was it? Yeah. I just happened to turn my camera over to him right after Texas had a nice easy layup, and McCaslin just got, get him out of there. And that was it.
That was it. The last one.
Yep.
Well, Kyron, I don't think really wanted to be here. Demarion was asked twice to come into the game and said no.
Yeah.
Against Oklahoma State and against Houston in the Big 12 tournament. Demarion, you're in. That's okay. Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that?
100% for him. By the way, if you're asking a Demarion Williams percentage, 100% in the portal. He might be in the portal right now. Just hasn't been reported yet.
How about Pop?
With all of the stuff that Dad and I still put it at earlier in the year, if you would ask me, I would have said like 90%. But I'm going to go right in the middle because I genuinely the entire year thought that he would be gone after this year. But just the posts that were made by his dad and him after the game, or well, what was said by him after the game, I'll go 51% that he's. I know this. I know I'm
wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy.
Oh,
okay, fine.
You're like Charlie Brown.
I'll say 70% that he enters the transfer portal.
Whoa, okay.
There.
Yay, now. How about Lamar Washington?
85%.
I would say so too. Yeah,
90%. Yeah, which is fine. And you have no ill will towards him, right? I mean,
no.
He wants to go somewhere where he plays. He's going to go somewhere that's not going to be
Portland State.
Yeah, he's going to go. Yeah, exactly. Go back close to home and see more time on the court, and I can't blame him for that.
Yeah. Can't shoot, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of shooters, need some makers.
Yep.
But anyway, I thought that was fascinating. 37 of the starters in the Sweet 16.
And that's what stinks. I mean,
DJ Burns started his career at Winthrop, Marquette's Tyler Kolek, George Mason, Gonzaga's Graham Ike at Wyoming, UConn's Tristan Newton at East Carolina, Alabama's Mark Sears at Ohio, Tennessee's Connect at Northern Colorado.
So what do all these high school kids do then? They just go to smaller schools and then hey, that kid looks pretty good at this really small school, and then you just got to hop into the transfer portal?
It's just a great question of, and that ended up being part of Mark Adams' downfall. He, what movie? It was The Three Amigos. We strayed from the formula and we paid the price. We're talking about the old movies and the Westerns.
Yeah.
They strayed from the formula, which is they went and got a bunch of high school kids. By the way, Elijah Fisher's in the transfer portal again. And, you're wanting to build a base, which I understand, but they didn't weigh it like it needed to be weighed. It was overweight when it came to high school athletes.
Yeah.
Instead of portal athletes. You have to find a balance, and you have to hit, and it's not easy to hit because you can swing and miss on portal guys as well. Chris Clark, I still think was, a miss. Holyfield was a miss.
A miss.
So you can still miss, or you can hit like Tariq Owens and Matt Mooney and knock it out of the park.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
All right, so I got some questions. Let's do it.
2 minutes of nonstop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time now for Burning Questions.
What's the best scary movie of all time?
Not Scary Movie.
I love Scary Movie. That's one of the few
spoof things that you like.
Saw it twice.
I remember when I was a little kid, the movie Ghoulies. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The things that came out of the toilet?
Ew.
That creeped me out as a kid. And I didn't like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. That one really creeped me out. as well. So I think of stuff that actually did scare me back in the day. So those are probably the ones that.
No
really
Poltergeist. That was right during our.
I don't think I ever saw that when
childhood.
I was little. I don't think I was allowed to watch that one.
No, I'm sure we both got steered way away from Poltergeist.
I have a couple of cousins that watched a lot of scary movies when they were young, and they did it just to scare the crap out of them.
I remember my mom and dad watching Poltergeist. They were like, "Get out of the room!
Yeah,
get out of the room!"
That movie's tamed.
Yeah,
If you think about it now.
it's Rob Zombie stuff. Yeah.
I live in a house of a bunch of people that don't like scary movies that make you jump, so we don't go watch anything like that. But I enjoy watching them now just to see if I will jump, because I typically don't anymore.
Speaking of jump, what's the best roller coaster you've been on?
Best roller coaster. Well, it might not be just the Texas Giant. I enjoy just because of the pain that you go through. And
that was going to be one of my next questions. Like, what's the worst roller coaster you've been on? And I thought you may say the Texas Giant.
Well, I think my reason
you like the pain.
It's
like being in a fight.
Well, like the what's
it's like
the other
Vince
one
Young getting knocked out at the bar.
I think, but my reason for I like anything that does a loop, but I really haven't been to Disney World or Disneyland, so I'm very limited. It's like Frontier City and
Six Flags.
Six Flags, a Six Flags location. But the reason I think my favorite is I think it's the Judge Roy Scream.
Judge Roy Scream.
The reason that's my favorite is because Brooks, the first time he rode on it, he was on the shorter. Well, he still is on the shorter end, and they were like, "Yeah, he can get on that.
Get on there, kid."
And just to see his face when he lifted up on one of the, we were afraid we were going to have to check his pants type moment. So just seeing his face, and I could still see
father-son moment.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite. That was much more painful than the Texas
fact
Giant.
that the Judge Roy Scream is still there.
Yes.
That easily, to me, would be one side of the park, kind of out of the way, that they would rip out and do something else with, but it's still there.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
The last time it's been several years since we've gone, but yeah, the last time we went, it was there, and we went, and it was pretty empty, so we rode on it quite a bit.
Yeah, just kept going. Make me the perfect taco. Verbally.
Okay. I was about to say you don't want me to cook it. Well, it's going to be in a tortilla, right? We're not doing any of those crispy shell bolognas.
What?
I don't like hard shell tacos. I don't. You like hard? What do you want? Some Old El? Okay, here we go. I'm going to go with some ground beef, a little Old El Paso, a hard crispy taco, and some lettuce and cheese. There you go. That seems like that. I just made you the perfect taco there.
He's asking this because he wants tacos to be brought back up here to the studio.
He needs lunch today. So if you're bringing some, have some tortillas with them as well.
Okay, that was weak.
What? I just gave you the perfect one.
It's not the perfect taco.
Lucas, give him the perfect taco. It's all up. You know, whatever you say is going to win this battle.
No, I highly doubt that. I would put chicken, and then lettuce, salsa, cheese, diced onions, and maybe
some cilantro.
Cilantro, yeah.
Kind of leaning into some street taco there.
Yeah, I would like mine to be steak.
Pastor.
Yeah.
I'm thinking pastor. I'm thinking one of those shrimp and then a fish taco. So we get the three amigos.
You're going to a good place for that type of stuff, right? You should be able to find some good shrimp tacos down there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Now he knows what he's going to do for dinner tonight.
Sounds amazing. Lucas, you got best roller coaster?
Yeah, so it's called Storm Runner. It's in Hershey, Pennsylvania, at Hershey Park. You're launched 0 to 72 miles per hour in 2 seconds. You go straight up 150 feet, and then you drop 180 feet, and then you do a Cobra spin thing, and then you're back. I think the ride itself is less.
Then your spleen falls out.
It's less than a minute, and it's like a minute and 20-something seconds.
That sounds a little bit like the Superman ride at Six Flags, where they shoot you out of that tunnel.
The only Superman thing I remember is the one where you're up high and they let you go, let you drop.
I got to tell you, out of the Florida rides, thrill rides, the Tower of Terror is hard to beat. That is special.
Did we do that? There's the roller coaster on top of the, what casino is that on the top of?
Stratosphere?
Yeah, the Stratosphere. Where
they took
that edge.
They took the roller coaster off.
They took the roller coaster. I think I did one of those.
Well, I did all three. They did a roller coaster. There's actually 4 up there at one point. They had the Big Shot.
Yeah.
They had the roller coaster. They had the seesaw.
Where it would hang you
out over the strip. And then they had the 4 chairs that the crane would hang you out over the strip and start spinning. And then the forces would bring your chair up so you'd be looking straight down.
Yeah.
At the strip.
The New York has one too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've done that one. I like the ones where you go inside buildings too, where it gets dark. I like
the Rock and Roller Coaster, which is right next to the Tower of Terror, the Aerosmith.
Yep.
That one's fun. You get launched. Like, I like anything that launches you out, and then you do corkscrews and you go through a big giant donut, and you got sweet emotion and the speakers right by your ears.
That would be awesome. One of these days.
I think it's down right now for renovations. That is and you're basically going through L.A. and whipping you all over the place.
Because you're in a limo and you have to get to the concert.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned the things that you don't like. It's not a roller coaster, but those swings at Six Flags that take you way up. When I was a kid, I was totally fine with those. The last time we did that, just the regular circular spin around swings that go really high with a parachute on the top of it or whatever. The last time we did that, never going back up. And I'd never had a problem with it before, but I guess the older I've gotten, maybe the weight that I now carry with me, it did not sit well, and I had nowhere to go except for fly out of that seat or just hope that we landed. That was not a good time. And now Haxton asks these taco questions, and that's all we're going to be reading about for the next hour while we can't eat.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
All right, get your questions into the 100.7 The Score mobile app and the Yates Flooring Center chat line. It's presented by Happy State Bank, Hax, Collier, and Lucas edition of the program. I have 6% battery left. Do you think I'll make it?
On the phone?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mess with it, close all your tabs. Is that how that works on one of those?
Oh, actually, it's my computer.
Oh. Yeah.
I have some news.
Uh-oh.
Louisville is set to hire Charleston's Pat Kelsey to become the next head coach for the Cardinals.
Pat Kelsey.
You know who Oklahoma State needs to hire?
Who's that?
Will Wade.
You really want that? You could get some players there.
Cheating's legal now.
I know.
Everyone can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Well, then the playing field's leveled for him. Then maybe he's not as good as you think. I'm just joking.
Now you just go Cowboys to Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. McNeese, Stillwater. I don't know.
Yeah, that's better than Doug Gottlieb.
Notice how he has not had any kind of real talk
Well, yeah, like originally, I think right whenever it happened, there was a story. Basically, he was told he's not getting the job. He even said
Doug.
that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he said that. He said, I want it. But
I've also heard of potentially John Lucas II, I think. He's 41 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Make us feel old.
Hax, how did it make you feel when DC told Woodman he was his favorite co-host yesterday? I've not heard of this.
I don't remember saying that at all. I 100% don't think I said that yesterday. Don't think I said that. And if it was, if I did, if it was, I did. If I did, I was probably saying it to butter him up. I don't remember honestly saying that.
All right.
I'm being honest.
I'm going to be on the lookout. We have UCF's rotation, if you want to look these guys up. Ben Vespi, Dom Stagliano, and Wiley Hartley. Those will be your three hurlers for the Knights. Benchwarmers, does gambling on sports deserve a lifetime ban? I would. This is going to be the old school thing again. I would like it to be quarantined a little bit to where, all right, I want to gamble. I want to play roulette. I want to play blackjack. I want to bet on games. I don't think, I think it's going to hurt a lot of people because gambling's like so many things on this earth. It's a big old dopamine rush when it works. Mm-hmm. And then even when you lose, sometimes it's a dopamine rush. But just sitting there on your couch able to wager thousands of dollars to me seems extremely dangerous.
Oh, it is.
Figure in alcohol, you get done with a party and you're like, there's that phone over there. I can just play video blackjack.
It makes it worse. Yeah. You can do it right in the palm of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get in a car and drive somewhere. You can just sit and
that's what I'm
all your
saying.
money at home.
I'd like for it to be quarantined into places, not just available for mass communication like it's going to be, and in some places currently is.
Pete Rose got it. So, did you see the Pete Rose thing too? Somebody asked him about Shohei, and he was like, "I would have been able to get in the Hall of Fame or something along those lines if I would have had an interpreter back in the day."
Oh, if he had a translator.
Yeah, he had a translator. He would be he'd still be good to go.
Seems like there's a lot going on. I'm just checking the old feed here with this coaching carousel because it's starting to spin.
From the Yates Flooring Center chat line, somebody said news per On3 Sports. Colorado big man Eddie Lampkin has entered the transfer portal. What if Eddie Lampkin came to Texas Tech?
No.
How much of a 180 would you do on Eddie Lampkin if he was a big man with significant minutes for the Red Raiders? Never going to happen, but...
No.
What would you rather have happen? Eddie Lampkin play for Texas Tech or Doug Gottlieb be the head coach in Oklahoma State?
Eddie Lampkin play for Texas Tech.
Okay.
Because you can put him on the bench, have him be a cheerleader. That's what, he started off as this humongous glorified cheerleader sitting over there on the bench, dancing around. Like, who's this massive dude dancing around? And I wonder if he'll ever play. And then he got to a point where he started to play, and then you really started to admire his game. I remember sitting there courtside in Kansas City going, man, this Lampkin guy can just ball all of a sudden. And then he just got into caricature type a little bit, and reminds me physically of the Burns kid.
I was about to say he's a poor man's DJ Burns.
Yeah. Not near the skill.
Yes.
But I just think, no way. I know bigs are pretty much priceless. And when whatever articles you read, the guys that are going for the highest on the NIL are your point guard leaders and bigs.
It's better to be a big in college basketball than it is to go to the NBA now.
Yeah,
right? I
because
mean,
the bigs have kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Start, bench, cut, Bulldogs, Basset Hounds, or St. Bernards.
Ooh.
I guess since I'm supposedly look like one of them, I'm going start the Basset Hound, bench the Bulldog, cut the St. Bernard. Too big, too much upkeep there.
That's the exact same way I'd go. Starter Basset Hound.
Yeah. I like Bulldogs too, but the
Bulldogs.
The breathing problems issues, might be a little difficult.
Eddie Lampkin in the transfer portal. Did you see Micah Peavy got in the transfer portal?
Yep.
You don't have to gamble thousands. I understand. Believe me, I understand. But sometimes it turns into that. There's your Photoshop face with a gun.
Oh, boy. I haven't gotten there yet.
Lieutenant Collier there. I like that. I sneaked into the living room while my dad was watching The Omen. He loves scary movies. I might have been 6. I had nightmares for a while. Still creeps me out. Yeah, that's a brutal one there. I wish like hell they would get rid of the portal at least. Shore up the regulations. The jumping around is ridiculous. From Tennessee Raider.
I hate it. Hate it.
Is there a fan out there that likes it?
I don't know. Players like it.
Yeah, because it's free agency.
Well, until people stop paying all this money, it's going to keep going. So I just want somebody to stay there for 4 years. I just want somebody.
I just want somebody to transfer not within the conference. I still don't see why that's an issue. If we're going to have limitless transfer, let's just put a little tiny limit on there.
There's got to be some.
And you can't go within your conference.
How about this? If you get the one-time transfer, and after that, if we have to let people transfer everywhere, you have to sit out a year the next year if you transfer. And if you sat through that year and did it again, the next time you transfer, you have to sit out 2 years. Nobody's going to transfer then. Eddie Lampkin's not going to transfer 2 times technically. Like, make a decision and stick with it.
Back in my day.
I know. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to cheer for people. I mean, you've got a completely different roster every year.
I know.
It's worse than professional sports.
Yep. All right, my computer just died, so we're done. Thanks, everybody out there. We really appreciate you listening. Thanks for the tacos, Shelly. We've got the bottom line coming up next.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.